Can President Trump legally take away a brand new baby's right to be an American citizen? Well, we're about to find out because the United States Supreme Court decided today that they are going to hear the merits of Trump's case. I cannot stress to you how big of a deal this case will be. So here's what it's about. On his very first day in office, you may remember, President Trump signed an executive order called Protecting the Meaning and Value of American Citizenship. That order revokes the right of babies born in this country to automatically gain U.S. citizenship the day they are born. Now, not all babies are subject to this order. If both of the baby's parents are American citizens, or just one of them is an American citizen, of course, that baby is also going to be a U.S. citizen. But if that baby is born to, one, both parents who are not here legally, or two, born to a mother whose presence was lawful but only temporary, and a father who is not here legally, under this Trump order, that baby would not get to be a U.S. citizen. And even if the state where that baby is born issues that child some kind of government birth document and the baby's parents fall into one of those categories, the federal government will not accept that document. Now, if the Supreme Court decides Trump is right, that according to Trump's order, only babies born in this country after February 20th of 2025 to parents who fall into one of those two categories would not be granted U.S. citizenship. This would not apply to anyone born in the United States before February 20th. But hold up. You're probably thinking, I thought birthright citizenship was included in the United States Constitution. You're right. It is. The 14th Amendment, which has been around for more than 150 years, grants citizenship to all babies born in the United States. And on top of that, more than 125 years ago, the United States Supreme Court ruled the 14th Amendment applies to all babies, even if that baby's parent or parents are not here legally. Oh, and there's also a federal law from 1952 that also says all children born in this country, regardless of their parents' legal status, are entitled to U.S. citizenship. So how can Trump just then sign an executive order and get rid of birthright citizenship rights that are literally in the Constitution, in the law, and part of the Supreme Court precedent for more than 100 years? He can't. That's why this executive order still has not taken effect. Every single federal court judge who has heard this case has said that Trump's order is a blatant violation of the United States Constitution. And each of those federal judges has issued some kind of preliminary injunction to stop him. But now, the Supreme Court wants to take a crack at it. So you might be thinking, Lisa, if this is so clear-cut in the Constitution, in the Supreme Court precedent, and in federal law, then why are the justices taking up this case at all? Well, I have no idea why the Supreme Court does what it does. But I can tell you why President Trump thinks what he's doing is legal. And it has to do with 5 words in the 14th Amendment. The very first line of Section 1 of the 14th Amendment says, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. Seems pretty clear-cut, right? Well, Trump says not so fast. The 5 words he is zeroing in on are subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Trump and his legal team are making the argument that parents who are not full citizens of the United States, and by extension their newborn babies, are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. Therefore, they are not allowed to be covered by the 14th Amendment. Seems like a stretch, right? Well, even the Trump team says this is a novel interpretation of the 14th Amendment, and even some conservatives definitely believe this is a fringe theory. But even so, the Supreme Court wants to hear the arguments from both sides of this case. So what's going to happen? Well, the Supreme Court is going to hear oral arguments in this birthright citizenship case at some point, probably in early 2026, and we're likely going to get a ruling at the end of the Supreme Court's term in late June. But if the court sides with Trump on this one and blocks birthright citizenship for some babies born in the United States, we will see a complete upheaval of a pillar of the United States Constitution.